Um, as far as introductions go, my name is Blake. I'm a senior CSM with the team. So if you guys are current customers, most likely I've talked with you. If I haven't talked with you, hopefully you've talked with my colleague Vanessa, who's another senior CSM on the team. We are here to support you guys and active customers. Zach, do you want to introduce yourself?
Yes, nice to see everyone. I see a lot of names that I recognize, which is great. Zach Kinsey, head of sales here at Concord, been with Concord for coming up on 10 years now, which is very shocking to myself as well. So anyway, been here for a very long time and worked with most of the people that have purchased Concord over the years. Definitely at some point, if I'm not the one that sold the system to you. So yeah, excited to show you Clause Library today. I get a lot of questions about Clause Library, and we'll probably talk about current state of Clause Library and then also what we're planning to do with Horizon, because I think that's very exciting. Um, so anyway, yeah, excited to be here today.
Awesome. I'm going to stop sharing my screen and let you take over, Zach. But while I do, we put our emails up there. We'll also put just maybe an email, ways to get and contact us in the chat. But we want to let you know if you're a current customer, future customer, or if you're just looking for general support, don't worry about who you're reaching out to. We'll make sure you get into the right place. But all right, Zach, yeah, we can see your screen. I'll let you take it from here.
Absolutely. So the clause library, first and foremost, people may ask, like, I don't have access to the clause library. If you don't, it's because you're not on an enterprise package. So it is currently only available on the enterprise plan. And Dan, yes, there will be a recording available afterwards. Yep, we always try to make these available for you after the meeting is over. So. But as far as the clause library goes, first of all, the way that we set up the clause library in the system is here through the automations tab. So this is where you can come in and actually create your clauses in your library. I do have clauses, it just took a second to load there. So, and typically what we're going to see from our customers are standard language that they want to be able to insert into a document. A lot of them manage that through like an Excel spreadsheet where they just kind of keep everything and then they'll insert things as they go. So the clause library gives you the ability to have that data hosted in Concord, and then you can use that in the system. So this is where you would set that up. You can come in here, build out your new clause in the tool. And I have seen a lot of customers also that will have like option A, B, and C, and they'll have all three of them in the clause library. So that way, if they need different fallback provisions, they can put them here. I also have customers who use this to be able to set up like different language based on different jurisdictions. So for example, if it's a US based company, they're going to use one set of language. If it's European, they use a different set. And so they'll keep that language in the library. And even in the US, people are going to do that based on like the state. So in California, they have certain laws. In Washington, they have certain laws. And so they'll keep different language depending on the jurisdiction for that contract. Blake, what else have you seen as far as setting up the clauses and kind of how people are managing this?
Yeah, I think it's a great way for it's for attorneys to enable their individual users, right? They may not be um the role that should be typing up language themselves, but wants a something to fall back on in case they need to sort of add additional information. So it's a great way if you are maybe an administrative role or something along those lines to enable your users as well. I think it's a really good way to have that standard language that people can kind of utilize as well. That's something I've seen.
Yep, absolutely. So this is where those get built out and set up. You can come in, you can edit them, make whatever changes you need to. So I'm going to jump into an actual document here in the system. And in this case, I'll just work off of this template. Um, so I'll do that here. And so with the template itself, you would have access to clause library here, but typically you're going to use that once you have a draft. So I'm just going to turn this into an individual draft. And now I'm ready to actually insert that clause language into the document. So to do that, I always have to click on edit first to get access to the library. And then I'll come over here to insert, and I can now insert from that library. And I'm going to talk about the clause selector as well too. But let's say that I wanted to replace this clause section with some language that I have in my library. I would come in here, click insert. Now I could check this box and click insert. That's one way you could do it. I don't really recommend doing it that way. And the reason for that is because it's going to keep the formatting in a box and you're not able to make any edits to that formatting. So a lot of our customers will do the same thing where you're just going to copy it and paste it in. That way that language is editable, and you can keep the formatting that you have in the document already. And I could come in here and of course reformat this if I wanted to and do different things with it. So that's probably how I recommend doing it. You could, if you wanted to just like straight insert it in here, you can. To do that, you'd come in here to insert and then you drop that in from the library. So I know there are some customers that do it that way as well. The purple box will not be seen by the outside parties. It's only going to be something that you can see. And then I can come in here and I can delete that. So my option is to delete or to edit inline there. So those are the two options that I have. Like this still jumping a little bit, as you can see. For those of you that didn't notice the jump issue, we have been working on that and it will get fully resolved here very soon. But anyway, so that is how we insert a clause from the library currently within Concord. Like I said, I'm going to talk about Horizon in just a minute as well, but that's the current process. Now, the other option that we have is our clause selector. So what that allows you to do is set up a standard section of this specific document like this, and I can have multiple choice options. So let's say like option 1, I want to have look like this. Option 2, I want it to be slightly different. So you can just set up your different options here. And with the clause selector, you can also choose who has access to be able to insert. So maybe I want to allow anybody who's an internal user to select from that. Maybe I want to have that be just an internal person. And you could even come in here and choose like the team or individuals to have be able to do that. So it could be like anyone, or you could even have it be like, hey, I only actually want the legal team to be able to make the changes here. So I could change that over to legal. And then I'll go ahead and just save that. So now in that template, when I come in here to be able to use the template, I have the ability to say, okay, for this specific section of the document, I want to be able to come in and choose an alternative. Let me share this out first and get it set up correctly. Oh, well, and I'm not on the legal team, which is why it's not letting me do it. So let me fix that real quick too.
Yeah, I really love this tool. People use this for like it's kind of like that same thing, right? You know, a lot of at least I do as a CSM is like we're not people proofing things necessarily, but that's kind of what we're doing, right? We want to enable you to have workflows that work for all of your users. So this is kind of another way, kind of that same theme that I said earlier to say like, hey, these people, you know, can choose from some things if your, you know, your vendors or your external guests push back. So I really love the clause selector. It's one of those kind of hidden tools that people really love.
Yeah, and I've also seen people use it not only for clauses, but like sometimes they'll have different options, like different products or different packages, and they'll use a clause selector to be able to manage those. So it's like, hey, package A, package B, package C, and then they just have different language in them. So there's quite a few different ways you can actually use the clause selector. It's not just for clause language. But as you can see now, I've got that language option here. If I click use alternative, I can come in and select from one of the other options and insert that language into that section. So that's really the idea behind it, is to be able to make that flexible in the tool. How do you create all the options for a clause? You just do that when you come in here to the clause selector. So as you saw, when I click edit, I can come in here and it's under clause selector, and then I can create all my different alternatives. So we do have, with the clause library, you don't create them in there. You'll create them specifically in the clause selector for this document. So it is document specific. That's why we recommend doing this on the template level, having all your options there, and then as you create drafts, you'll be able to select from those as you go. Yeah, the clause alternatives are specifically for a specific document. Yep. Blake, anything you want to add here on clause library or the clause selector?
No, I think you covered it. I mean, you are literally already, or he's doing this in a document that's in the review stage, but he also said earlier the clause selector is best for templates probably. But the, you know, the application, the use of it still is the same, right? That's why he didn't leave a document to do it, right? But the clause selector, if you're thinking about how you're going to use it, it's probably best for a template, which he's in now. And look, it's just the same to do. Maybe that's the one thing I'll add there, but the clause library just in general is great for really anything. So yeah.
Yep. So that's where that's going to happen inside the tool. Yeah, question here. That's a great question. So the designation of the parties may vary depending on the contract. In some contracts, they're referred to as contractor and customer, while in others are identified as first party and second party. Should these designations change based on each contract, or is it necessary for us to redefine them accordingly in every contract? I think it just really comes down to your what template you need to have there. So if it is a template that needs to be contractor customer, you probably have a specific template for that relationship. And then I would recommend having a second template for a first party, second party. And then the clauses would be the same. You probably need to have a clause for each of those alternatives. So it's just kind of how we set, that would just be part of setting up the system. Yeah. Anything you want to add there, Blake? That makes sense.
Mm, I think that's good. Yeah, and it could be company specific too, so, that might be also even something that you use just a general field for, maybe. Lots of different ways, I guess you could do it if I'm understanding the question correctly, but yeah.
Yeah, I think from what I'm understanding, I think it'd just be either two different templates or
Oh,
two
okay.
different clauses depending on the relationship that needs to happen. So, yeah. Great. Thank you for all those questions. One thing also to highlight is that Concord Copilot, because if you wanted to have this, write language for me, um, you can. And so what actually I've seen a lot of customers do is they'll have the Copilot write them some language, they'll kind of get down to some specific things, and then they'll actually insert that into their clause library so they can use that for later. This is just asking me to clarify a few things, and I'd go back and forth with the Copilot, but that is another tool that you have to be able to help write that language if you do need to get some things, rewritten or identified in the system. So that's there. So once again, just a quick recap: to access the clause library, to set up your standard clauses, you do that through the automations tab, and then you come in here to the clause library. If you can't see the clause library, if it's saying you're not on the right plan, it's because you're not on the enterprise package. We'd definitely be happy to talk to you about an upgrade if that's something you'd like to do. Let's talk about what we're going to be doing with Horizon because, it works okay now. We have a lot of people that use it. However, I think there's a lot of ways we could improve this. I think everyone could agree with that. And that is something we are planning to do with the new Horizon platform. I'm kind of like living my dream because all the stuff I've been wanting in the system for so many years, we're finally putting it into the new platform, which we're very excited about. So this is the new Horizon platform for those of you that are aware of it. So with this, we are going to be doing our negotiation playbooks. And so this will include clause libraries, your playbooks, the way that you want to negotiate, fallback provisions, all those things. You can also do multiple choice options. So the idea behind this is you're going to train the system or teach the system, okay, this is the industry I'm in. These are the things I care about. These are the jurisdictions I work in, and now I want the AI to be able to help me with that, negotiation. And so you're going to be able to build your playbooks based on that. So, great question from Mark. Will Horizon replace the current version of Concord? Eventually, yes. We don't have a timeline for that right now. We're probably looking at, I mean, nothing will happen on the replacement side for probably at least a year. But at some point, Concord Horizon will become like the platform moving forward. So don't know what that looks like yet. We're still a ways away from that happening, but at some point that will happen. Yeah. But yeah, that new playbook is, I think, going to be kind of, one of the things that's unique about me is I get to hear hundreds or thousands of companies a year tell me kind of what they want in a CLM and a platform like this. And so I've been able to take all that feedback, and we've taken that feedback to incorporate that into the new system. So we're very excited about those negotiation playbooks. For those of you that are up with the legal tech world, that's a very hot topic right now. These auto redlining tools, these, playbook tools. And so we definitely plan to incorporate that in the new system. So we don't have Horizon will start being released next month. So we are very close to that happening. And definitely if you're a customer that wants to be part of the beta, we will reach out about that. We'll let everyone give us the opportunity to add them to a beta. We're a little ways away from that happening quite yet, probably a few weeks away, but that's something that we will let you know as we get closer. So. Any other general Concord questions, stuff that we can tackle today? We're happy to go any direction you want us to. If there's like a nagging issue or question that you have and you're like, hey, how do I do this or that? Just let us know, and that's what we're here for. We're happy to help. Blake,
Yeah, that's
anything you
right.
want to add? Go ahead.
No, I mean, just, I mean, yeah, just kind of like to your questions that you're saying. Give us everything, right? This is the opportunity to not just ask about the clause library, not just ask about Horizon, but really just to everything. Can the system handle footers or headers as of yet? The answer to that is no, not yet. At least in app, we can't edit or add headers or footers. But for all of you guys that are interested in the editor, we are, we're always improving it. We're always making additions. I think some big ones are coming soon. So, but no, direct answer to your question, uh, cannot add headers and footers into the documents yet with our in-app editor.
Yes, that is something we are planning as well. So we have a whole new editor that it's not a new editor, but we're enabling some new features in the editor very soon here. So hopefully we'll see some progress on that in the near future. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
Great. Other questions, let us know. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that's come up recently. Blake, you had any hot topics or anything that we want to tackle?
Um, no, no, not necessarily. I mean, I always like to just remind people like I'm sure there are people on this call that just use us for repository, which is common. And these features that Zach was talking about is about creating documents and getting them signed through Concord. I'm always surprised at the amount of people that don't realize that electronic signature document creation, unlimited amount of them come standard with each and every account. So if these are is surprising to you and interesting to you, let's talk. Let's make sure you're using it because they're great tools. So yeah. Um, question here. Is there a way to get drop down lists in smart fields? Sean said, great question. I am going to, I would love to have some drop down fields as a format. Currently a feature request. Also, that's a part of my job as a TSM is to record your feature requests, give them to the product team. We receive a lot of them. So they don't go into a black hole. That's the good news. We take your feedback very seriously, but we receive a lot of them. So we can't ever make promises, but I'm going to add that add you to it, contribute you to that feature request.
Yeah.
Um, is there any chance the ability to export the contract and select attachments into one document on the horizon? Um,
So you'd want to take all the attachments and the document and have the system merge them? Is
I
that what
think
the
so.
question is?
I think that's what I'm interpreting it to.
Honestly, I've never had that request before.
I haven't either.
In 10 years, I've never heard that request. I'm like, I'm trying to, okay, yeah, that makes sense, I guess.
Yeah,
We could definitely put the request in and see what we can do, yeah.
yeah, yeah, absolutely. Um,
Um, I'll read this question from Mark. So, will Concord's AI features start scanning upon document upload to give you the option to possibly add additional clauses to the clause library or clauses from the uploaded document into the clause library? Yes. So, the idea behind the clause library is it's something that the AI will actually help you build. And so, as you are making changes or reviewing documents, you will be able to kind of build it as you go. And the idea is the AI will do that initial scan, but also it's all tied into the playbook. So the playbooks are going to be like, hey, these are the things you care about. These are the things that you want to do. So anyway, yes, that is the idea behind it. Is you will build it as you go, and the AI can suggest things to you as well. Yeah. Yeah, you'll have to wait for the playbooks. The playbooks right now are set as a phase 2 release of Horizon, so I'm guesstimating most likely December, January for the playbooks themselves. We're a little bit out from that. We're going to release phase 1, which is all the stuff you see here in yellow. This is all part of phase 1, and then phase 2 is the stuff in purple. So yeah, we're close to all of it, but we're still a little bit away.
Yep. And then we have another question basically about automatically adding like tasks with specific numbers that ties into the sort of playbook idea. That's the idea that we want the playbooks to be able to have is like AI takes specific actions on your documents. Um, That I don't know if that exact use case will be included, but those are the actions, right? A lot of these AI tools, they have kind of general actions, general ideas. And so yeah, and so I would say that's most likely going to be accomplished with the playbooks. And then does the clause selector add the clauses to the clause library? The answer to that one is no. It's kind of like an individual document tool almost. So it's like you add it to a draft or to a template and people can toggle, but it'll really just like live on that draft or that template. That's why I like to do it to those templates so that each draft will have that clause selector option in it. But no, the ultimate answer to your question is it will. They're not added to clause selector. Clauses are not added to your clause library.
Yeah. Not currently. They'll all change.
Yeah, that's right. Yep,
They'll
exactly.
all be very different in the near future. But yeah. Great. Thank you for the questions. They've been awesome.
Absolutely.
And hopefully, hopefully you can see that I think a big reason I like these webinars is you can see other users of Concord, other companies. We have some really cool companies that are actually asking questions right now, little really power users of the system as well. So hopefully you can all learn something from these webinars. That's why we do them. But yeah, feel free to throw in any additional questions that you have.
Yeah, that's right. And
Do you see this question, Blake, from,
yeah, I thought I answered it earlier.
oh,
Is it so it's like the idea is you want to apply task numbers. Um, I think we should connect on a call. Really do think we should connect on a call. But if either I may be misunderstanding, right? If it's applying the task numbers, yes, the playbook should be able to do that. If it is assigning the tasks, I think the workflows that we talked about yesterday should be able to do that. So right, so depending on what exactly you're asking, the answer varies. But again, I really think we should have a conversation. Um, Zach, would you be able to put that support email into a chat with everybody? I'm only able to message hosts and panelists. But again,
oh,
if you don't, if you have questions, right? Don't wait to contact to come to the webinar to ask your questions. Reach out to us. If you're a future customer, contact Zach. You're probably already there. If you're a current customer, you can reach out to us individually. If you don't know who to reach out to, go to that email. We're like a three member team over here that are taking your requests. That's not a general email that goes to nothing. I get
I
those.
mean,
It
they're
goes to your CSM.
small but mighty team on the
That's
support
amen.
side.
Amen.
And that is the most important email at Concord because if you send an email there, it's going to be seen by a whole bunch of people and it's going to be handled hopefully very quickly. So it kind of goes to a general inbox where everyone sees it. So yes, definitely use that support at concord.app email. It's a good one. And you can send any requests there, billing questions, system questions, you need to change admins, whatever. It's the perfect place for all that. So, yep.
Yeah, absolutely.
Great. I know we're getting a little close to out of time today. I don't have a whole lot else. We just wanted to cover the clause library. If you have any topics you'd like us to cover, we, obviously are going to keep doing these weekly. They will shift into Horizon very soon because we're just about there on Horizon to where we can
Hmm.
start showing it. We've been playing around with it actually a lot. We do testing weekly with it currently. I will give you just a very quick sneak peek. Don't tell anyone I showed this to you, but this is Concord Horizon. So this is the new application. And like I said, we've been testing it. There's a lot of cool stuff here. So you're going to be able to choose your LLM. You're going to be able to do just lots of different things with it. But it looks very much, looks very new and fresh and looks a lot like Claude to me. I think that's kind of how we've made it look on the back end quite a bit. But yeah, so you've got all your different document views, you've got your inbox views, you can ask the AI questions, and the AI is really cool because it has access to all of your data. So you can have it build reports right on the fly. You can have it pull up all your documents that have certain language in them just so easily. I mean, it's just a huge improvement over the search that we have today. And I think it'll just make everyone's life a whole lot easier. So this is Horizon. I think everyone, hears about a new platform and there's a concern with like, oh, am I going to lose any functionality? Is it going to be better? Is it going to be worse? I assure you, you're not going to lose anything. You're just going to gain a whole lot, especially when it comes to the AI side of things. So we've been very mindful about like keeping all the same cool features and functions people love about Concord, but just making them way better and also enhancing them. So, yep. So look for that Horizon webinar probably in the next few weeks. I would imagine we'll do a whole webinar on Horizon to start unveiling that, and then we can take it from there.
All right. All right, guys. Well, thank you all for your time. Zach, thank you for the presentation. We're glad that you that you helped or that you guys attended. Broadenfield's on the screen. Yes, I'm
Yeah,
understanding.
you can do a lot with views in Horizon.
There's a
So
lot more
this
inbox
whole thing
changes.
is like way different than it is currently. We have a whole new system that we're using. It's really cool actually.
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
it is software built in 2025. So
Hmm.
yep,
Yep.
absolutely.
Yep. All right, guys. Well, thank you all for attending. We look forward to hearing from you. Take care, guys.
Yeah, thanks everyone.